Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic on a big day for the channel because the Sudoku Pad app is now out on both platforms. So if you've ever wanted to play other puzzles in our software, and people have asked us about this literally for years, you can now do it both on Android and PCs and the like by using the Google Play version. There is a link below the video, but you can also just play a puzzle in our software and click on this app, on this icon, to take you there. And you can also find it in the App Store on Apple devices. Just look for Sudoku Pad, or again, there's a link under the video. And thank you so much to Sven Neumann, who's responsible for all the developing and getting it onto those interfaces. And it just costs $2 or $3, couple of pounds, something equivalent in your local currency. Do give it a try if you're interested in that at all. There are 12 bonus classic Sudokus that we've made for the app. So, I mean, effectively, you're getting those for about, what, 20p each or something. It's pretty good value, to be honest. Anyway, think about that, if you will. And the video you see is Sven inputting a puzzle onto the app to play it. And that puzzle is the pillow puzzle, the prize puzzle, but also the first puzzle in Jovial's Sudoku Relay, which is our prize for the month, our monthly reward for Patreons. So anybody paying $2 even on Patreon will be able to play that. If you're not paying $2 on Patreon, still go to our Patreon site because you can play the Murder Mystery Hunt. Now, the extravaganza closes on the 20th, but the Murder Mystery Hunt goes on till the 31st. There is an answer. Be careful what you send to us. Read the instructions carefully. We've been getting some wrong answers, the wrong password being sent to us over the last day or two. Just be a little bit careful about what we're specifically asking for and the format in which you should send it to us. So I'll just mention that. Now, all of that said, what have we got today? We've got Square Wheel by 2 to 10th, and this grid absolutely fills me with trepidation. There are no given numbers in it. There are no given cage totals, no little killer totals, just a rule set, just a blank grid with some cages, arrows, and a rule set. Normal Sudoku rules apply. The digits in each cage and along each diagonal indicated by an arrow outside the grid must sum to a perfect square. Digits may not repeat within cages, but may repeat along the indicated diagonals if allowed by other rules. So a slight twisting of the normal killer and little killer rules. So what are the squares that we're going to have to use? I think all of the cages in this grid are going to sum to either 4, 9, 16, 25, 36. I don't think 49 is a possibility, certainly not for a cage. And even on a 5-cell diagonal, I think the maximum that could add up to is 43. So 49 is not in play. So it's the squares from 2 squared to 6 squared that we're going to be using here. So a good one for Mathmos, this. Now, you can play it on the first link under the video. Behind that link, you can find the Sudoku Pad links, the links to all our apps, to Patreon, to Discord, to all of our credits, to everything to do with the channel. And we are still putting up things like set of videos. Oh, on Patreon today, my crossword video, 6 times cryptic crosswords. If you're interested in that, have a look at that. So enough waffle about other things. If you're playing this, good luck to you. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. And how the heck do we do that? We know, okay, if they were all different squares in this cage, in this box, I mean, these 3 cages would have sums of 9, 4, 9, and 16. But although 4 couldn't repeat and 16 couldn't repeat, because there's only one way of making up each of those cages, 9 could. So I don't think that's a useful conclusion. Right, let's have a look at this 8-cell cage. Yeah, okay. If this was 25, this cell would have to be a 20. And I know that because of this secret that the digits that fill any one row, column or box of a finished Sudoku add up to 45. It's true. Anyway, so if those added up to 25, that would add up to 20, which is nonsense. If they add up to 36, that's a 9, which looks very good. They can't add up to 49, so I think we're definitely on the right track. Now this cage has to be 16 because it can't be 9 anymore. So what about these two now? If they were both 25s, which is possible for a 4 and a 5 cell cage, then these 10 cells would add up to 57. And that can't be, because that would have to be a 12, which isn't quite as bad as a 20, but pretty bad. Naughty 12. So we're not having that. How about if they were a 25 and a 16, plus the 7 would make 48. That would make this a 3, which is plausible. Now, they could both be the same. So if they were both 16s, no, that's only 39. That's not enough. If one was 25 and one was 9 plus a 7, neither of them can be 9 anyway, so that's nonsense. So this is right. We're on the right track. We get a 3 here. One of these is 25 and one is 16. Now look, none of these can be a 3-1 cage making 4. And none of them can be a 9-7 cage making 16, because neither of those cells can be 9 or 7 now. So they're all 9s. Let's think of a colour for 9 cell, for 9 sum cages. We will go with purple. That is a 16. We will call that orange. This is a 36. We're not going to have many of them. Let's go with light grey. Now, these all add up to 9, so they're 27, that makes 30. These two add up to 15. Oh, look, of course, these cells, there must be a 6 in there and a 9. And I know that because all the purple cages add up to 9, and they don't use a 3, so they can't use a 6, and they obviously can't use a 9. So they are a 1-8, a 2-7, and a 5-4 in some order. And in fact, the 7 must be in one of those cells, and the 2 must be in one of those, because the 7 is in one of those. Now, this cage, 15 already, so it's got to be a 25. These add up to 10. They can't add up to 21 to make a 36, and they can't add up to 1 to make a 16. So they add up to 10. So this is a 16. So we know, no, it's not. It's a 25. We haven't come up with a colour for 25 yet. We will go green. And they add up to 10. They're not 6-4 or 9-1. So they're either 2-8 or 3-7. Right, now these, they can't add up to 25, these 3-cell cages, because 9 plus 8 plus 7, the maximum is 24. So they could both be 16s, in which case 32 plus 10 is 42. That would be a 3, which would not only be possible, but helpful. If they were a 16 and a 9, 25 plus 10, you'd need another 10 here. So I don't think there is another way of doing this. They are both 16s, and this is a 3. So we can colour them orange. Oops. Right, and now that 3 is helpful because it makes this a 2-8 pair. So we know that's not 2 and 7. Oh, I've uncoloured that accidentally. There we go. In fact, do we know what it is? It's not 2, 7, 8, 1 or 3, 6. Yes, we do. That is 5, 4. These cells are all now from 1, 2, 7 and 8. And the 7s can't be there and the 2s can't be there. Okay, so now in this column, 3, 2, 8, 4, 5, we've got 1, 6, 7 and 9 to go. Now, is this cage determinable? It can't be 9 anymore, and that's good news, because now surely it's going to have to add up to 16. It can't possibly be 25. So these two add up to 13. They are 6 and 7. That fixes this. This is so clever. What a puzzle. So that is a 16 cage, and we're calling those orange. We might get a lot of orange in this puzzle. Wow. I don't think the diagonals are any use. They won't be for ages, I would say. Oh, hang on, there's maybe regular Sudoku could be though. Look at those 9s. There's a 9 in this cage. Now, one of these adds up to 16 and one of them to 25. I think we worked that out. I don't think this can add up to 16 anymore. No way. So this is the 25 cage and those are green. This is the 16 cage, so that's orange. Now, what else do we know about the 16 cage? It has got a 3 in it because we need to put a 3 in the box, not in the green cage. And it hasn't got a 7 or a 9 in it. Oh gosh, what are the possibilities then? If it's got an 8, then it's 1, 3, 4, 8. If it hasn't got an 8, oh, it can have a 6. 6, 5. Gosh, I'm struggling in my head. 6, 5, 3, 2. Oh, bother. So it's 2, 3, 5, 6. Or what did I say? 1, 3, 4, 8. Ah, the only common digit is the 3. I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to remember those. What I'm going to do is cheat by writing them in cells there. This cage is either 2, 3, 5, 6 or 1, 3, 4, 8, and I feel it's going to help to remember that stuff. If it was 2, 3, 5, 6, this is a 6. Yeah, that doesn't lead on to anything. Right, we have a 6 somewhere in these cells by Sudoku as well. We have a 3 somewhere in those. I don't know how this is helping. Can we determine if this... can this cage be a 16 cage? These would have to add up to 15, but they can't be 6, 9 because of that pair, and they can't be 7, 8 because of that pair. This is not a 16 cage. It has to be a 9 cage. We'll colour it purple, and it can't have 2, 6. So it must have 3, 5. That's brilliant. That is such a clever bit of setting. Now, these other cells in the box are 2, 4, 8, and 9. Now, this is 9. That's 13. That's 22. Now, these two are going to be squares as well. They can't be 25s. They could be 16 or 9. That's the only sums they can be. So there are 4 ways of combining those. Now, which gives real totals that could be in here? It's worth a try, I think. 9, 22. If it was 2 9s, that would only be 40. 9 and 16 would take it up to 47. And these two would have to add up to 2. That's not happening. Therefore, these both have to be 16s. I'm sure that is right. So, with these both being 16s, 32, 45, and 9, these two add up to 9, which is an annoyingly unhelpful total, I think. Especially, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to add this box, because that could be 4, 9, or 16. And that's a lot of options. Each of these could be 9 or 16 as well. I don't know how we make progress now. Hang on, let's see. A 5 there. Okay, that means there's a 5 here along with 6. Now, these add up to 16. Right, so the 9 must be in one of these cages, goes with a 1 and a 6. So one of these cages, it could be here, 6, 1, 9, which is actually quite plausible. If it was 6, 1, 9 here, that's going to have to be a 5 with 4, 7 here. I don't know how to resolve that. Is there something else very clever that I haven't thought about? This is tough. The trouble is, I think I've been doing fairly extensive number juggling already, but I just may not have done enough at all. So, I don't think this box is all that... Oh, hang on. Oh, right, yes, these 5. If that was a 2-8 pair, what can those be? 4, 9 and nothing else. Brilliant, right. So this is not the 2-8 pair. This is the 1-7 pair. What am I talking about? Okay, let's go back and remember that these add up to 9. There is no 2-8 pair, so I'm talking absolute balderdash there. Right, if they're 1-8, that becomes an 8. If they're 2-7, that becomes a 2. That's all I can do is figure a 2 or 8 here. Which forms a triple? No, it doesn't do anything. Right, so these add up to 16. Let's have a look at those then and think about how they might work. Okay, so 8 doesn't go with 9 because that would already add up to 17. So 8 is in one of these dominoes and 9 is in the other. So we've either got 9 and 2 giving a 5-4 pair, or 9 and 4 giving a 6-3 pair. Ugh. So that's either a 3-6 or a 5-4 pair. Oh, okay, this doesn't have a 1 in it. That's quite interesting. It means if it's 9, it's a very specific 2-3-4 cage. Ah, and that can't be because this needs either a 3 or a 4 in. Right, so that is a 16 cage, we've suddenly learned. Now we've got something to go on. These add up to 25. Now if that was 9, and that would have to be a 16, and that would take us up to 50, making this a 5. That's possible. That's if these are a 9 and, sorry, if these are a 9 and 16, adding up to 25. Now, if they were a 9 and 9, that goes down to -2. If this one, I'm trying to forget that this can add up to 4 for now, or 16. If they're 16 and 16, that's too much. This goes up to 12, that's no good. Right, so if that's a 4, so we've got 25 here already. If that's a 4, 29, and this could be a 16. That's not enough, that's 45. This can't be a 4. Okay, that's interesting. So this is either a 9, can this be a 16? 25, 41, yes it definitely can. So it's a 16 or a 9. And I think this is 2. It can't be a 25 by virtue of its size, or a 4. So that 2 is a 9 or a 16. Now, 25, I think I've done this once already. If they were both 9s, that's 43. That's not enough for these 10 cells. If they were both 16s, that's 57, and that's too much. So one is a 9 and one is a 16, and that is a 5. So now we know that 5 goes in this cage, and we worked out that one of these is a 9, 6, 1. So the 5 doesn't go with a 6. So that has to be a 6. Going with a 9 and a 1, and we've got 5, 4, and 7 here. And we've got a 1-9 pair there. So now we know this is not a 1-8 pair. That is a 2-7 pair. We're not making a mathematical error this time. Sorry about the one that I made for a moment before. Right, 1-8. So there's no 8 there. This is an 8. Now, this has to add up to 16. So these two add up to 8. And that's going to have to be 2, 6. We can't have 4, 4 for Sudoku reason. 13 plus 3. Yeah, that's good. Now, that can't be the 9 cage. This now has to be the 16 cage because we can't put 3 and 1 in there. This is the 9 cage, unsurprisingly. But it's not 3, 6. Okay, that's useless. Oh, it's also not 7, 2. So it's 1, 8 or 5, 4. The 8 couldn't be there. This is a 16 cage. So these two add up to 11. They're not 5, 6 or 3, 8. They're 2, 9 or 4, 7. And that can't be a 2. Now, there's no... Oh, 1 says that something here is a 1. Now it's got to be there. So that's a 1 and an 8. Now we've got... it doesn't decide what this is. That's incredibly annoying. 5's up here with either 2, 7 or 4, 9. Ah, but 5 is in one of those two cells, and that decides that this is a 3. Oh, this is fun. That 6 has resolved the 7, 6. That 7 means this can't be a 7, but that doesn't actually decide what this is positively. Now, we do know that up here 4 and 9 have been used, as well as 5 and 3 and 1. So these are only from 2, 6, 7 and 8. These are from 3, 4, 5 and 9. We've got a 1 and I don't know what else here. So, okay, that wasn't the way to go about it. Let's have a look at this middle box. I've got to do it all over again with the kind of outies in this box, I think. So, we've got a 5. This is either 16 or 25. I think there's a lot of options though, because this can still be 4, 9 or 16. But this is a bit more restricted. In fact, this cell is now 2, 4 or 9 by virtue of the other things it can see. I wish that was more helpful than it is. Oh, this, by the way, I know what that is. It's a 4. And that, looking into this box, this cage does nothing for it. So that's not a 3 now. Oh, come on. Maybe I just haven't made enough deductions at the top. I mean, this... Oh, of course. Let's have a look at this diagonal. Right. This is now... We've got 5. So it's either adding up to... It can't be 9, can it? 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. Nearly. That's 10. Okay, but it can't be 9. So it's either 16 or 25. Now, if it was 25, these three would have to add up to 20. Well, that's quite easily done. 9, 9, 2. Okay, if it was 16, they would have to add up to 11. 2 and 1 would leave a lot of flexibility, but then you'd need an 8 here, which is not possible. And for these to add up to 11, 9 and 2 is too many. 8 and 1 would leave a 2 here, so that is possible. 8, 1, 9, 11, 14 and a 2. Or 8, 9, or going for the different total of 25. I don't know, it's not, this couldn't be a 1 then. So it's either 8, 1, 2, 3, 2, or what? 2, 9, 2, 3, 9. So that's either a 2 or a 9. Oh my goodness. Does that decide that this is a 2, 5, 9, 16 sum? I think it does, as long as I haven't missed a possibility. Let's just work it out in case I have. If there was a 4 there, that would be 9. These two couldn't add up to 7 or 16. If that was a 7, 10, 12, can these two add up to either 4 or 13? No. So this is right. This is a 2, 5, 9 cage. That is genius. I mean, that is so clever. 7 and 4 there. Let's take out 4 and 7 there. That's a 2, 5, 9 cage. That resolves this 4, 9. We've got a whole box done. We can take 4 out of there. We can take 2 out of there. This is now a 1, 2, 4 set. Oh, that's so clever. Oh, and we should know. No, we still don't know what these are. There are 2 ways for this to resolve. That's madness. This is as mad as a box of frogs. What a puzzle. Right, there's a 7 in this cage by Sudoku because of these 7s. Does that stop it being 16? Not on its own. I feel it's unlikely to be 16, but I don't know. That can't be 8, 1, 5, or 7 now. I'm going to have a quick look at this diagonal. I can't believe... No, it could be anything. It could be 9, 16, or 25. So that's just not doing anything for me. Oh my goodness, right. Now these were not actual candidates. They are the ways this could be filled. Oh, is that interesting now? This would be a 6 if it was that set. And if it was this set of digits, oh, it's not that help. Ooh, we'd get a 1, 3, 4, 8 quadruple then. 6, 9. So this would be 2, 7, 5. 1, 3, 4, 8 quadruple. That would be 1 or 8, being the leftover from there. And otherwise it's a 6. So that is 1, 6, or 8. It is not a 3. So we definitely have a 3 up here. We definitely have a 3 here. That hasn't really cleared the air much, has it? Now this has to add up to 25. So we've got 12 already. Oh, it's whatever's left over, obviously, yeah, from this. I don't know how to deal with that. 7, 4, 5, 6, 9... 1, 2, 3, or 8, that's not really any use. I'm going to have to look at this cage and juggle these possibilities. I really think I am. Or maybe there's something else I can think about, like... Yeah, okay, where does 8 go in this box? That is an interesting question. That 8 says it can't be there, but how could 8 be here? This would have to be a 9 cage, and that would put a 1 there clashing. So 8 can't be there. It can't be a 16 cage because that would be 8, 8. So 8 is in this cage too. And now that's interesting. Now it's not a 16 cage, it's definitely a 25 cage. And it has 7 and 8 and 6 and 3. That is the only way to make it up. We can't use a 5. Yes, that is a 3, 6, 7, 8 cage. Good Lord. Oh, no, hang on. That cannot be right. And my maths is faulty, so that's a relief, because I've just noticed that 3 and 6 can't both go in that cell. Right, 15 plus another 10, which could be 6, 4 or 9, 1. Bother. So that would be 6, and this would be 8, 7, 4. Or this is 1, 9, 8, 7. Okay, well, forget that. I don't know how that's made up. But those now add up to 25. So what's this going to be? If that was a 4 cage, that would add up to 16. But it can't be because 7's gone in the column. So if this was a 9 cage, that would add up to 11. Very plausible. If this was a 16 cage, that would add up to 4, I think. So let me check my maths again. 25, 30. I think my maths has been all wrong again. I was working on 25 as the total of those, but 30 is the total of those. So let's start with this being a 4 cage, then that's 11. Very plausible. 3, 1, and that can be 2, 9. That's all it could be if that happened. Right, if this is... So these add up to 20, don't they? No, they don't. They add up to 15. Try and keep it in your head. So 9 there would make this 6. That would make this a 2, 4 sum. Oh, I think that's impossible here. This then couldn't be 2, 7, 4, 5, or 1, 8. Oh, it could be 3, 6. It's not impossible. So 2, 4 there would put 3, 6 here. Oh. And the alternative is this is a... Or so this is either 3, 1 or 3, 6. Either way round. That must be right, I think. And therefore there is a 3 in it, which is really weird and interesting. But I don't know if it's a 4 cage or a 9 cage. If it's 3/6, that's 2/4. Then this is 8/7/1/9 in this one. That's perfectly fine. If it is 3/1, this is 2/9, did I say? I think I did. If this is 3/1, yeah, this adds up to 11 then. And it can't be 4/7, so it would have to be 2/9. So it's either 2/4 or 2/9, so there's definitely a 2 being used here. We can take 2 out of that cell, which feels like the tiniest victory possible. And that all fits with 8 and 7 having to be in there, either with 1, 9. Oh, this is tricky. So this either adds up to 6 or 11. So this cage, it can't be a 9, obviously. So if it was 6, a 2/4 there, these would have to add up to 10. And they would have to be 1, 9. And that's impossible because of that cell. If these were 6, this would have to be a 16 cage. It couldn't be 9 or 25 anymore. And because these couldn't have a 2, 4, 5, 6 or 3 in them, they'd have to have a 1, 9 pair, and that would clash with that. Brilliant. So that's not 2, 4. That's 2, 9. This is now a 1, 3 cage, I think. 11. Let me check this again. Yes, it is. So we know which way round that goes, thanks to the one we've got. So we need a new colour for 4 cages. Let's do blue. This now has 11 there. It could have been 25, but that would have to add up to 14, and you can't have either 9, 5 or 6, 8 there. So this adds up to 16. What colour are we making those? Orange. These add up to 5. They are 1 and 4, and I think we're away up again now. So 9 and 1 there. Sorry if something else should have got me away. That's often what's happened. That 9 has sorted this out. Got a 2, 9 pair at the top. These are 4 and 6 and can be filled in. That tells us where 3 is. Now we know that this is the 4, 3, 1, 8 combination. So I can take out those silly markings. 7, 6. This is 2, 9 and 5 down here. Well, that can't be 2. This can't be 5. 7, 4, 5, 1, 3. That is an 8. Then we've got a 2, 9 pair at the top and bottom there. So that's 6. This is now a 7, 8, 4 triple. In fact, we know where 4 goes. So 7 and 8 are uncertain. This is 7 or 8 as well. Now, how about this diagonal? If that's, well, just adding those two, we're up to 12 or 13. Could it possibly be 16? 5, 1, 3, 7, the absolute minimum, so it could. Could it be 25? I have no doubt it could. These two would have to add up to either 13 or 12. Oh, well, that's either. So the absolute maxima here gives 1 square. 5, 4, 9, 8. No, that's just terrible maths. 5, 4, 9, 7 gives 1 square of 25. Or 5, 1, 3, 7, the minima, gives 16. And either way, this is a 7. That's fascinating. You can't just take 1 off either of those maxima. So those actually, we can take out the middle option. They can't be 5 and 2. This is now 8. 7 there. That fixes the 5, 7 pair. Haven't resolved the 2, 8 pair. Now, we've got 2, 6, 8 and 9 here. So this cage is not going to add up to 9, because although 2 and 6 could be in a 9 cage, they'd need a 1 there and they can't have it. So this is not a 9. Is it 16? Well, it can't be 25, so it's definitely 16. So that's orange as well. And we've coloured all our cages. Right, how are we going to make up 16? Well, it could be 2, 6, 8 as a sum. And is there any other way? I don't think there's any other. Oh, yeah, there is. 9, 2, 5. Oh, bother. Oh, so we've still got work to do. Right. Let's look at taking 9s out of those cells. We've got a 1, 4 pair there. Oh, that was quite depressing. Let me just have a quick think about this again. 2 must be in, either this is 8 and 6 and that's a 2, or 2 is definitely in the cage. Either with 9, 5 or with 8, 6. I think that's something. So we can take 2 out of that cell, at least. Three has to be in one of those 2 cells, which tells me nothing. Oh, hang on, maybe I haven't finished. Oh, look, there we go. 8 and 1 here. 5 there. That could never have been a 9. Apologies for thinking it might have been. Let's take... Oh, we've got this horrible deadly pattern, but it's going to get resolved by that when we get there, which I'm not ready to do yet. So let's just take out the corner marks for now. That 4, 5 is done, but this 2, 8 isn't. Now, we've got a 3, 6 pair here now. Is that of any interest? 2, 5 and 7 here. That one can't be a 7. I mean, it just doesn't feel like there's much point filling these in. 2, 3, 5 and 8. 2, 3, 5 and 8. But no, 2 is in the cage, so actually they're a bit more restricted. Oh, look, that's not a 7. I think there are only 2 cells where 1 and 4 can go here. I don't know if that is even going to help, but, and it's not normally the way I'd look for anything. Oh, it places a 2 here. And that is incredibly useful because it places the 2 in this 16 cage. Good grief. Doesn't determine whether it's 5, 9 or 8, 6, but this can't be 8 anymore, just in case. This is now where 2 is in box 7. Oh, come on. So that 1, 4 pair must leave a 3, 6, 5, 8, 9 quintuple. There must be another pair or triple or something. How about that? 3, 6, 9. So that can't be a 6. That does nothing. Oh, you beastie. Oh, 1, 4 pair, looking at that cell. That's been available for a while. I even pointed out the 1, 4 pair. Sorry. So that's not 8. Now we've got a 3, 5 pair. So that's a 7. That 5 makes this an 8, and we know the contents of that cage now. So that's not an 8. That's a 3, 5 pair. This is a 9. We've done this 8, 2 over on the right side. Now let's have a look at this diagonal. We still don't know about that one. Right, 14, 20. These 2 can't add up to 16, so they have to add up to 5. So they are 3 and 2. And now we are surely home free. What an incredible puzzle. I mean, my hat is off to 2 to 10. This is extraordinary. Not just that it solves at all, which is amazing, but that it has this beautiful logical path through it, if you're prepared to stick with it and find it. And as I say that, I'm left with these glorious deadly pattern. Oh, of course, this diagonal. That diagonal now. So 4 there, 1 there, 1 and 4, 1 and 4, and there we go. What a magnificent achievement by 2 to 10th, not by me. I mean, I'm pleased to get through that, but that is brilliant. Thank you so much for watching through the videos as always, and we really hope to see you on the channel again soon, and maybe even on our Sudoku Pad app if you like it. Anyway, thank you so much for supporting us as always, and we wish you all the best. Bye for now.